Volunteers form the backbone of many of Australia's emergency services. This is a story of one of the lesser known, but just as important organisations.
Starting port engine. Starting starboard engine. Okay, everyone, life jackets on, please. If you pull that, the jacket will automatically explode like this. There's a whistle, strobe light, and there's a gas cylinder inside here which will automatically inflate the jacket.
Present position is just northeast of Dull Point Wharf. Is your present location over?
Yes, Coastal Patrol. We're approximately 2 miles due east of Little Marley Beach. Just going to patrol down the coast. The 1 mile and return over.
Romeo.
We're from the Royal Volunteer Coastal Patrol, and as the name implies, we're all volunteers and we're involved in marine rescue. We do this every weekend and we're on call 7 days a week, 24 hours a day in the case of an emergency. We patrol Botany Bay here in our Waveney lifeboat. This lifeboat was purchased by the Royal Volunteer Coastal Patrol in 1999 from the RLNI in the UK. It's already done 20 odd years service in the UK. It was built in 1967. The lifeboat's an all-metal construction. The hull is a what they call Core-10 steel, which is a very high copper content, and the superstructure and deck is all marine-grade aluminium. It's self-righting. It's got 7 watertight compartments, and it will rewrite itself in about 5 to 6 seconds. It's powered by 328 Caterpillar V8s, each developing 210 horsepower. To run this business or this operation in Botany Bay, it costs us about $20,000 a year, and of which we get about 5% of that from the government. So naturally we need to sell a lot of raffle tickets and rely on our sponsors and corporate bodies to help us out. We do have some very good sponsors. We have St George Motorboat Club, which provide us mooring free of charge. Castrol provide us with our oils and lubricants, and security company City Eastern Security, has been very generous this year and given us a $5,000 donation. Cogra Council are generous with donations with us every year, so are Brighton and Sands RSL, and some of the Rotaries such as Cogra Rotary and Hurstville Rotary have been very helpful to us in the past. Apart from this, we need to raise about $15,000 from the sale of raffle tickets every year just to keep this operation running. It's quite incredible that to be a member of the Coastal Patrol, it's open to anyone in the public. However, they have to pay for membership, they have to pay for their uniforms, they have to pay for their training and education, and to risk their lives to go out and save people out in the sea. It's quite incredible that at times they can face the risk of being sued for neglect or doing something, or if any injury happens to a person that we're trying to rescue. And all this is done by, and I repeat, volunteers. So it's quite ironic that we actually have to do this, but we all love doing community service and like getting out in the fresh air and helping our fellow boating public.
There's a B, C and a D. There used to be an A, but because of reduced numbers they wiped out the A. So today is B crew, and I'm the skipper of B crew. Graham is the skipper of D crew, and when there's an emergency it's usually David and I, so we call ourselves the A crew. This is the new north-south runway, and this bay in here is our favourite training area because we have some workboats and a barge which we can do manoeuvres around. We can tie up to it, come alongside, and in particular we're going to approach the Penryn Road Wharf, which is a very small floating wharf, and there's also a boat ramp there, and it's the only boat ramp that services this whole northern area over here. But it's also the agreed evacuation point for any disaster on Botany Bay. And that agreement was with the police, the ambulance, and to a lesser extent ourselves. But we took part in that exercise. But it's a very small wharf, and it's a narrow entry channel, so there'd have to be very good wharf control, otherwise there would be paralysis if a lot of boats all went in at once. This is the sandbank entrance to the Penryn Road Wharf. This is low tide. As you can see, it's a very steep bank at this point, and this is the agreed area for any emergency in Botany Bay as an evacuation point. If we had to at low tide, we could come in here, nose up onto the steep beach, and discharge casualties over the front, because the wharf, which is behind us over there, is going to be chock-a-block full of small boats, and there'll be paralysis at the wharf. So we don't need to go to the wharf. We can do it here if we have to. Fire hose nozzle has the capability of a jet or a spray, and a spray at a very good angle, which if we were attending to a vessel on fire to get passengers off, we would deploy this to the front of the vessel with the bow facing the flames, and we'd be upwind of the vessel in distress. That protects our crew here in the coxswain. The person at the front would have this on a spray, not on jet. That provides a heat shield for themselves and the people they're trying to get off. And then after having retrieved anyone that's on the vessel, we might think about using the jet, but bear in mind some of these smaller boats and indeed the larger cruisers have LPG on board, and we're not a primary firefighting boat. We're there to save people first.
On a day like today, it's usually pretty good. You don't generally have any calls, but you can go like that for a weekend and it'll be dead calm. You don't get any calls, and the next weekend it can be the weather's a bit blustery and people get into problems, and you can be running all day or all weekend.
In this particular case, you can't say left hand down a bit or right hand up a bit. Emergency steering. It's direct onto the rudders. Rough day, we deliberately go outside the heads, and the rougher the better, because this vessel's been in force 9 conditions in England, which we hopefully will never experience, so it's built for that. So I have the utmost faith in this vessel for anything that happens outside these heads. We've just demonstrated to you that this vessel can go almost as fast in reverse as it can forwards, which means it's a very good boat for cliff-based rescues. But we can turn on our own length. She's a lovely boat, 18 tonnes and very manoeuvrable. There's not any lifeboat. We're just a couple of 100 yards off Captain Cook Bridge. We're returning to the marina. Over. Right, over, mate.
situation. It was really, really tense. The sea was really fierce and moving up and down. I was climbing along the side of the walkway here when all of a sudden a great wave came and hit me, and my mobile was sitting on the back of my trousers. It got caught in the rope just here, and it flipped it off.
Walk on the railing, yes, the railing. It was on the belt and mobile, and when I looked around, I saw it sinking down into the sea.